Once again, welcome to another video, Bad News Brown. If you're new to my channel, I speak on a lot of things from current event topics, certain things from my personal experience, as well as my opinion on certain things in order to get you to broaden your understanding and to get you to look at things in the proper way. So go ahead and subscribe and stay tuned. Now, the topic of this video is going to be financial literacy 101, or an introduction into finance. Now, most of you are probably figuring, you already know finance, you know how to count money. What more is there to know? And as you listen on, you'll see there's a few key reasons why you probably want to start paying attention to finance and the stock market, etc. Again, this is not the end all be all, of course. There's more to life than becoming wealthy. But we live in a world where there's no way around it. So you need to understand what's going on, because these things apply to you whether you believe it or not. So now, you probably done heard throughout your life certain keywords on the news, various media platforms, words such as inflation, interest rate, stock, bonds, NASDAQ, Dow Jones, and you probably never gave it much thought. So in this video, I'll be breaking down, remember this is Financial Literacy 101, so I'm just going to start with the basics and familiarizing you with the words you may have heard and giving you the correct definition as to what they mean. So now let's continue. The first word you probably want to get familiar with is inflation. Now, inflation is probably the main reason why you need to get familiar with finance, because inflation has a direct effect on you from a day-to-day basis. Inflation is the reason why prices rise. Whether you know it or not, it's the difference. It's the reason why the price of things from 20, 30 years ago is different from now. And 9 times out of 10, the price has risen. That's because of inflation. Now, and a good example of inflation is you got $100, you put it under your mattress. A year from now, that $100 may only have $93 worth of buying power. Yeah, it's still $100, but you can only buy $93 worth of value for it. And this is because of inflation, which brings up the next key word, interest. Now, inflation is dictated by the interest rate, the prime interest rate. Now, the prime interest rate is all across the board interest rate in the country that companies can charge or financial institutions can charge. Now, that's the average. A lot of it is going to dictate on your credit, which we'll talk about in another video. But interest rates dictate the amount the prices are going to rise. Now, what causes interest? Actually, interest is a made-up phenomenon, as I'll put it, in order to stimulate the economy. Now, what does that mean? Basically mean they need something to motivate you to get your ass up and go to work to spend money under the guise of stimulating the economy. So there is no direct connection to supply and demand and the means to get a particular product to you that dictates the pricing. Interest is just a made-up calculation in efforts to stimulate the economy. So the name of the game is to hedge against inflation. Now, inflation rises every year depending on the interest rate, which is why prices go up. And this brings up a few other keywords that you may have heard. First one is assets. Assets are things you own that generate you money, whether it be the form of stocks, bonds, gold, intellectual property. Liabilities is conversely things that cost you money: car, house, your vices, bills, etc. Now again, I said the name of the game is to hedge above inflation. The next keyword we'll talk about is income. Income usually comes from money you make from a job, earned income, or any small business, etc. Expenses, conversely, will be things that cost you: bills, car payments, house payments. So obviously, you will want to generate enough income to exceed your expenses. Now, smart money invests in assets that bring them money, that brings them the type of income that will be more than expenses. That's the name of the game. And technically, you can be financially free where you don't have to work for money. Meaning, if you don't work another day in your life, money will be made to cover your monthly expenses. Now, smart money purchase assets to achieve this. Assets, again, stocks, bonds, gold, intellectual property. Now again, with rising prices and lower wages, this is easier said than done, which is why investing is so important. And I'll break that down in the next video. I really just want to give you a general understanding of finance and certain keywords and what they mean, and what the obvious end goal name of the game is in order to become wealthy. And it's basically, essentially, you want your assets and income to oversee your liabilities and expenses. And another thing I want to just put out there as far as finance and what you make, because it's not how much money you make, it's how much you keep. So whether you make $1 million a week or $1,000 a week, if you have to get up and go to work, you're not financially free. Now, don't get me wrong, you may make enough money to cover your expenses, so you cool, you kind of found your niche, as I'll put it. But by definition, you're not financially free. If you got to get up and go to work, I don't care if you're a doctor or a lawyer or a garbage man or a janitor, you're pretty much in the same struggle. You may be a different level on the cog on the wheel, but essentially you're the same person. If you ask me, that's not really what dictates who you are, but that's another subject. Again, man, I just want to give y'all an introduction to finance. I definitely will go into detail in later videos, but this video is to the layman, to the person who may have heard these words throughout the course of their life and never gave it much thought. They just pretty much working check to check, and they in the rat race, and they don't foresee no way out. But it's definitely a way out. A little bit of sacrifice, a little bit of discipline. Don't even matter where you start, don't even matter how much money you actually got. And this will bring up another thing regarding credit and certain principles that wealthy and smart people do. Certain concepts like OPM, other people's money, learning how to utilize debt, and various things. I can go on and on, but again, that'll be another video. This video was again just to get you started on the basics of finance. And again, no, I'm not wealthy yet, but you apply these rules and I guarantee you it'll get you in the right direction as far as increasing your financial ability and your wealth. This is Bad News Brown, breaking it down for y'all real quick, man. Go ahead and subscribe to me. I'll be right back at y'all with some more material. Peace.